Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Straight Facts Commentary where I give you my unpopular opinions in everything pop culture. So please stick around and subscribe for more.
And to the rest of you, the non-believers, the underachievers, the tweet and deleters, you guys make me sick to my stomachs, fam. Honestly, if you guys want to look in my eyes, you guys want to do something? That's what I thought. No, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Hey y'all, I am back again with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be speaking about Bhad Bhabie. You see the title, okay? So we're going to have a little conversation, okay? I've been kind of wanting to talk about this for a while, like a long time ago, but I did not have a YouTube channel at the time that I wanted to speak about this. If you have not already, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, I wanted to talk about this, and I know some people just clicking on this video are going to be like, oh my gosh, Bhad Bhabie. Well, she is controversial in her own right, okay? Has she taken on a lot of what's considered a black aesthetic over the years, a black stereotype over the years, a caricature? Yeah, I will agree with all those people who are probably coming in with those comments initially, but that's not necessarily what I'm speaking about in this video. I wanted to speak a little bit about the whole OnlyFans situation with Bhad Bhabie or Danielle Bergoli, and I kind of want to talk about her mom, just certain things in regards to her upbringing, all the things like that. But before I get into that part, let's just talk about the OnlyFans, because the amount of creepy men who waited on Danny to turn 18 to buy her OnlyFans makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. Just the thought of it just makes my skin crawl. There is no justification for it. And I know some people reason, well, she shouldn't have made an OnlyFans then, or she's making money off of them, so why is she complaining? I don't really think that when she was speaking about the situation that she was complaining. I think it was more of an acknowledgement or just acknowledging that there's a lot of sickos in this world. And now that she is an adult, she's able to see things a lot more clearly, now than she probably could see them before when she was young. And when you get older, you start to reason with things and understand things for what they are. What these grown men have done just doesn't sit well with me, regardless of whether she's benefiting from them or not. And we could acknowledge that she is benefiting from them, of course. I know some people still don't like Danny, but she has grown a lot and she stays out of the way. She's not really involved in a lot of drama. She's a lot more mature now. I saw recently she's becoming a mother. I don't know if she had the baby already, but I did see that she was pregnant. She has evolved a lot. If you watch like a lot of her interviews that she's had, after she's become an adult, she is very articulate. She explains herself very well. She doesn't act like that hyped up, annoying little 13 to 14-year-old that we were introduced to. You can tell that she's matured. You can tell that she's been through some things. You can tell that she's settling into like her adulthood, into her life, into, you can tell. You can just tell from somebody's energy, somebody's aura, that they're a genuine person. And regardless of how controversial she's been over the years and how controversial she still might be to some, you can tell when someone's grown. I'm going to be a little raw with you guys if you don't mind. I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys if you don't mind. But it really rubbed me the wrong way when I saw the whole OnlyFans projections things, because I was groomed from the time that I was like, no, younger. I want to say from the time that I was like 13 or 12 to 13 to like 17, my most of my adolescence, I was groomed. So seeing that and knowing that these men who subscribe to her OnlyFans have been watching her since Dr. Phil and probably were following her on Instagram and just looking at her and like preying on her and probably commenting on her videos and pictures and posts and all of that stuff back then, just waiting to try to see if they could see something inappropriate from her. That's the most disturbing part about it. Bhad Bhabie actually in her adult years did speak about why she even had to go into OnlyFans, because of her mother. Her being an industry child. Yes, she was an industry child, even though, she wasn't in the traditional entertainment industry like movies and television and music, but she still became a part of the industry at a very young age. And her mom has had taken advantage of her financially from a very young age. A lot of child stars or, people who grow up in the industry have that where their parents are in control of their money and they either use it all and they don't leave their kids anything, or they steal it, or whatever the case, because people who are kids in the industry are supposed to have funds set aside for them. They're supposed to have their own stuff that's set aside. Not to say the parents can't use any of the money, but it's to say that they're supposed to have their money set aside. It's supposed to be put away for them when they're an adult. But sometimes parents in the industry use that money. So she spoke about it in an interview that the money that she was making from music when she started doing music after the whole Dr. Phil thing, her mom used all that money until to this day she hasn't seen any of that money. And she was saying how she was broke. So that's why she ended up starting OnlyFans. Okay.
Then OnlyFans happens. Like, did you know that it was going to be as huge as it was? Because you made $50 million the first year or something crazy. Yeah. So did you have an idea? Like, did you know that you had that audience of like grown men?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking much of it at the time. But I was actually broke as fuck before I started OnlyFans.
No way.
Like, I was actually broke as fuck. Like, I barely had shit. Like, my mom was in control of my money, so she was doing whatever she wanted to do. And I had a $500 limit on my card.
No way.
Yeah.
And you'd already like Gucci flip-flops and like you'd had like hits. And you still haven't seen that money. So OnlyFans in a lot of ways was like you get to decide what you look like. You get to decide.
It was like
you
a
get
whole,
the money is
like,
direct
walking,
to you.
Like, I seen the light of the tunnel. Like, it was crazy. But I remember just being on the phone with my manager, like, just get me $3 million put away in an account, and then like 100,000 every month, and I'll be good. Like, I don't care. I'll do this. I don't care.
Is that how did you decide to
And
do
then
it?
it
Did
was
you just
like-
know about OnlyFans and you were like, this seems like a good way to make money? Or
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a group decision.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really crazy because I remember telling him, like, yeah, like, I just need $3 million tucked away, and then monthly 100,000, and then it was just like,
A lot more than that.
here you go, here's your $3 million that you wanted in 4 hours, here you go, have it. And then it just like kept going and going and going, and I was just like, shit. Like,
Okay, guys. So from that clip, as you can see, she spoke a little bit about OnlyFans and she spoke about her mother. And, I feel like there's even more to that story. There's probably so much that she could talk about when it comes to how her mom acted with her while she was a child in the industry. And even before that she got into the industry, how her mother was. I think people just seeing how she was so explosive as a child on the internet in our faces. We've seen that she was just disrespectful to her mom. She was rude, she was nasty, she was mean. They would fight, they would argue, she would cuss at her, they would da 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 da. But at the end of the day, we didn't know too what her mom was probably like as a mother, what she was doing to Danielle, how she treated Danielle, how her family life was, how she grew up. That also creates this volatileness in these children. Some children are just spoiled brats, naturally, inherently. Some kids have everything they need, everything they want, and their life is good, and they're just still spoiled brats. In this case, I don't think that was the case for Danny. In my heart of hearts, I feel like her mom was trash before the fame, before the money. Her mom was probably a trash person. She talked about this a little bit more in some interview clips as well.
I actually found out on my 19th birthday that my mom had been emailing Dr. Phil since I was 2 years old. So I don't know if my mom is a very narcissistic person. So, narcissists, they like a crowd. Figuratively and literally, they like a crowd. Because they feel like, well, I can't convince the people who really know me, so I can convince others of whatever narrative I want to play. So I think for her, it was just, I don't know, like, it's just like so crazy to me because I didn't know like what I was walking into.
Of course, when you were 13.
And I was 13. Like, she's like, oh, we're gonna go on Dr. Phil, and I'm just like, I'm smoking weed every day. Like, I'm like, you just be like, all right, take where you want to take me. I don't give a fuck. Like, I never thought. And then like when they told me like, okay, you're gonna come with us, Yeah, notify.
What? Emailing Dr. Phil since she was 2? What? What could she have possibly been emailing Dr. Phil about when Danielle was 2? Yeah, she could have been a terrible 2, but there's a lot of terrible 2s. What are you emailing him about when it comes to her at 2 years old? When Dr. Phil is primarily known for like having kids on who are like troubled children. She was trying to set this up from Danielle's inception. That is so weird. Like, what kind of crap is that? And Danielle has, talked about her mother and her father in interviews, Instagram lives before. I think Danielle's mom is actually psychotic, like on some real shit. Like, what has she been putting her daughter through? For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Also, another person that I think about who is closely or was closely connected to Danielle is that Malu Trevejo girl. Y'all remember her? She like got big off of like Musically or TikTok. I think it was Musically at the time. For being very pretty and like taking pretty pictures and making videos, dancing and being all sexy and seductive and stuff like that at like whatever age she was, 13, 14 years old. And she amassed a following on there and then transitioned over to Instagram when she was doing the dances over there. And I had been following her for a while because I was just like, oh, she's pretty. But then I realized I was like, oh, wow, she's very young. Okay. And I just kept up with like everything that was going on with her because I felt terrible for her. And I felt like somebody should save her because she didn't realize that she was so young and she was putting herself in a position to be preyed on by gross men at a very, very young age. And as soon as Malu turned 18, she went and got a BBL and a boob job as soon as she turned 18. And she started an OnlyFans as soon as she turned 18, just like Danny. They both did it around the same exact time. And I was like, oh my God, when I saw it, I was like, this is so sad. And I think it's sad for Danny too. But it makes a little bit more sense because her mom drained her pockets or whatever. But I feel like with Malu, I was just like, oh my God, no adults around her were protecting her. Her mom was exploiting her because I'm pretty sure her mom was making money off of the fact that, Malu was an influencer when she was a teenager. You never seen her mom hardly in pictures, videos, nothing like that. You didn't hear her talk about her parents. She was always doing stuff where it seemed like she was absent of any adult like supervision. And then she grows up and starts an OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where were her parents? Where was her mother? When she was a teenager, where was her mother the day she turned 18 or the year she turned 18 and she wanted to go and do all of this stuff? It's really sad. And all those men who are watching Malu went off and bought her OnlyFans because who else are the people going to be? Probably not the kids within her age group, maybe a couple, but majority of them are going to be the men and people with money who had been watching her before she turned 18. And it's like, I don't think that these girls like Malu and stuff like that, and these other young girls who are Instagram models who have been exploiting, themselves from a very young age, realize that they're even victims. They're victims. They are victims. Regardless if they're making money from it, they were being groomed from the time that they got on the internet until they turned 18. They are victims. But they don't even realize that they are because, they're on Instagram and they're making money now and da 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 da. But it's like, as you get older, you start to realize the sick shit that was happening when you were young. And I think that Danny realized that as she got older. She realized, like, damn, this is actually pretty fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm benefiting from it, but it's weird. It's weird. And now that I'm an adult, I can see it.
The night you turned 18, you registered to vote?
That's not what I thought you was gonna say.
Oh, you thought I was going to say join the military.
No, I was gonna say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined OnlyFans the night you turned 18?
I think so, yeah.
And people subscribed right away?
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
And yeah, y'all, I just wanted to make this video because I felt bad for people like Danny. I felt bad for, kids like Malu and any other of these young girls who are growing up in the industry, these little Instagram model kids who look like many adults. It's crazy. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. And the adults around them are enabling it. They are enabling it. And let me know what you guys think about the whole Danielle Bergoli and the OnlyFans thing. Tell me what you think about the Malu OnlyFans thing. Tell me what you think about all of these kids out here nowadays Okay, let's get into it. These kids who are like 12, 13, 14, who are like Instagram models and they look like many adults. There's so many of them I could talk about. Holy crap. But it makes me cringe to the deepest core of my being to even speak about them. But anyway, I love you guys and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.